If you are dealing with a pathological narcissist, then you are dealing with a total fake. So Crystal writes, how are they not exhausted from playing a role all day? And this essentially is because pathological narcissists believe that they are the figment of their imagination. So a quick way to really understand this is to think of Jim Carrey, who plays Stanley Ipkiss in The Mask. So as it relates to pathological narcissists, then understand that pathological narcissists believe that they are the mask. They believe that they are the false self. They believe that they are the ego. And the ego is a mind-made construct. You're dealing with a total fake from day zero. Whoever you thought you knew does not exist. There is a stranger in your house. You cannot get to know a pathological narcissist because they simply do not exist. And this would be similar to me coming on here pretending that I'm Wonder Woman, and if that mask doesn't work, then I'll pretend to be Thor. And if that mask doesn't work, then I'll pretend to be Spider-Man. Because when you really look behind the veil, when you look behind the physical veil, you will see where pathological narcissists are losing their minds. They are losing control of their emotions because they're based in shame and they cannot move past their pride. So they're unable to ascend. They're unable to access positive emotions like love, joy, peace, courage, and so on. And when it comes to the willpower, then they have an impaired will, an underdeveloped will, which makes them very impulsive and or compulsive. So the impairment at the level of the mind power, willpower, and emotions is what we call a personality disorder. Or you may hear me refer to this as a lost soul or a dark soul, because you're dealing with individuals that have lost themselves. They dissociated in childhood. And the level of dissociation that we're talking about here is at the level of spirit. They disconnected from their spirit, they disconnected from the true self, and they adopted a false self. They adopted the figment of their imagination. They believe that they are the mask. So when you see the narcissist run off with the new supply and they try to triangulate you, etc., with other people, then understand that they put on another mask to deceive that other person to triangulate you, because pathological narcissists are total fakes. You are dealing with the Anna Delveys of the world. They are shape-shifting beings that pretend to be whoever they need to be to deceive. They are shape-shifting beings that pretend to be whoever they need to be to deceive. So if the narcissist comes around me and I like hip-hop and R&B music, well, the narcissist likes hip-hop and R&B music. If you like jazz music, then all of a sudden the narcissist likes jazz music. So if you really sit down and observe them, you will see that they are mirroring you. They will mimic your style. They will mimic your way of dress. They are pretending to be like you, but they are the opposite of you. It is important to understand the spiritual aspect of narcissism, because pathological narcissism is a psycho-spiritual illness. The psychological information is what you're getting from the DSM and the clinicians and the psychotherapists and so on. However, understand that at a spirit level, their spirits are shriveled up, their lights are very dim, and oftentimes you will look in their eyes and you see where they're not really there. They are somewhere else. And this somewhere else really is the sunken place. It is the upside down. They are lost in darkness somewhere else. And this is because they dissociated from their true selves in childhood. Instead, they adopted a false self. So you really cannot get to know a pathological narcissist. They don't exist. They don't know themselves. And because of this, you are also unable to know them. Because put simply, they do not exist. They don't have a connection to their spirit. They believe in their minds that they are the ego. And what's the ego? The ego is a figment of a child's imagination, now existing inside of an adult's body. And this is why when you confront them directly or indirectly, you will see where they have a narcissistic injury. And what is a narcissistic injury? A narcissistic injury is when a pathological narcissist perceives a threat, whether real or imagined, that goes against their grandiose false self, that goes against the ego, that goes against the mask, because they do not want to take the mask off. They want you to adjust yourself to the deception. Pathological narcissists live in a delusional reality, and it is of the utmost importance that you do not follow them, because if you follow them, you are headed deep and deeper into the sunken place, and you will eventually feel like you are losing yourself because you are following a lost soul. You are following a dark soul. People that are trapped in the sunken place.